Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the things that I did to help me overcome binge eating. And if you guys do come from an eating disorder, I want to warn you, this may have some triggering behaviors in it, so turn this off if it could aggravate you. I'm not going to be talking about your average just eat more and do this. I'm actually going to be taking you guys through the mindset practices that really helped me, as well as toward the end, I am going to be talking about the food practices and everything as well. So stay tuned. I got some great information. And before I get started, as you guys may or may not know, I'm ElizabethAylorFitness, but I came from a severe eating disorder. And before my eating disorder, I was 180 pounds at age 13. I was on antidepressants, and I ate my feelings away. Every single night I would go home after school and I would binge on like 2 large pizzas or a whole 12 pack of like those Krispy Kreme donuts, like the big ones. I would eat the full dozen and then go for more food. And I hid my feelings in food for so long. And then when I ended up losing the weight, I actually ended up going in the opposite directions. I went to, for my eating disorder, I would starve myself. I would be eating around 200 to 500 calories a day the entire week. And then on the weekend, I would binge on around 7,000 calories a day. And I would gain the weight back. And then I would starve myself through the week. And then I would gain the weight back. And I always felt so much regret. I always felt so bad after I did this and so much guilt. And this was something that, getting the food out of the house didn't help, because if I had a day where I would go buy the food again. I would go to the store and buy the whole jar of almond butter and eat the whole thing, and then feel so much regret. And then later that day, I could just have a tablespoon, go buy something else. And I want to talk to you guys about how I overcame this. No, a doctor did not help me. It was me figuring out underlying what was going on, what I was going to the food for, like the whole emotional reason behind it. And I'm going to kind of get started now with that. So little background, as you guys know, I came from the eating disorder, and I did these binge starve kind of cycles. And then when I was overcoming my eating disorder, I still had a restricted mindset, feeling like foods were bad for me. If, like I said, it could have been almond butter would be something that I used to go overboard and eat the whole jar in one sitting and then feel so bad. Or like a whole pizza. And it could just be it could even be a healthy food. But if I really wanted it and I went overboard for 2 jars of it, I immediately put a restriction of, this is a bad food. I cannot have it. Try to completely eliminate it and gave myself more restriction in my diet. So the first practice I want to talk to you guys about today is called the past, present, and the future. So one thing that I implemented coming out of my binge eating was basically this past, present, future thing. What I mean by that is, when you get these feelings, these urges of just wanting to binge, or just like I need to eat everything, or I want to do it, what I would do is, when we're in that moment, we act. We typically act. So if we feel it, we go grab it, we do it, and then afterwards I felt just regret. I felt bad. I felt like I did something wrong. So what I started implementing is, when I had that urge, I would stop, come to a complete halt. I would go sit down. I would think about, okay, so Elizabeth, you are wanting to go binge on that food, whatever it is, okay? How did that make you feel in the past? So I would first start thinking about, okay, this is the action that you're about to go do. How did this make you feel in the past when you did it? Well, in the past, when I went on a full-blown 6,000 to 7,000 calorie binge, I felt sick. I felt regret. My stomach was in so much pain. so much guilt. I felt like I hated myself, and I just felt so bad. I felt out of control, and I didn't like that feeling. So I would stop. I would think about how the action made me feel in the past. Then the next step is I would say, okay, what are you currently feeling in this very moment? So I would focus on the present. What's driving this anxiety to make me want to go binge? Am I having anxiety about a job and I'm just trying to, or is something happening in my relationship? What is causing me this very moment to get this sense of anxiety and this urge and this feeling to want to go binge? So I would sit there and I would become present and figure out what is going through my mind, okay? Step number 3 is I would look into the future. So I would say, you know what? If I don't do this and, I go do something instead, how will I feel? Well, you know what? I would feel good. My digestive system would feel good. I would feel proud of myself that I was able to overcome and move forward. So basically, it's when you're having this feeling, what I started implementing is creating a habit of when I had the feeling to go binge, I would look at the past, how it made me feel, what my emotions are in the present moment driving this, and what I would feel if I don't do it. And having that halt time just really, really helped me become aware of, you know what? This isn't going to do anything for me. For the 1 second, it may make me feel good when I'm eating the food, and after, I'm just going to feel so sick. And that was something that I implemented that truly, truly helped me. The next practice that I implemented, and this is the simplest one, guys. This is so simple, yet so effective. So when I had that urge, that anxiety, I realized that anxiety was a big driver of mine. If something in my life wasn't going the right way, I would want to control something, and I could control my food. So I would, want to take that as control. And when I got that urge, I would just do this, simple. I would take a second, take a deep breath, and go outside for a 5-minute walk. Within 5 minutes of going outside with no cell phone, I'm able to just think, clear my mind, get my stress down, and get into a better mindset. Like I said, a lot of the times when we have a feeling, we immediately want to act on it. By taking a second, going outside, going for a 5-minute walk, you're able to clear your mind and get yourself into a better headspace. Realize how you're feeling, what's going on, and then make a decision based off of that. So the first step would be trying something like the past, present, future approach. The next step would just taking a 5-minute walk. Walk, clear your mind. I'm not saying meditate, go yogi. I'm just saying get outside and clear your mind, clear your thoughts. Now I want to talk about a few things that were reasons behind my binge eating, things that I changed. So one driver that I find is that for people, or for me, that come from a restricted past, what I would tend to do is I would want to basically not eat the entire day and save all my calories for dinner. And then at dinner, I would be so hungry that I would just want to eat everything in my possession. And I just couldn't stop and stop and stop and stop. And then my digestive system would feel like shit. So I would almost control my food by not eating all day to save it at night, thinking that I wasn't going to get food. And this was coming out of my eating disorder. And then I would binge on everything at night, and I became uncontrollable. So I would find, I know it's a hard one, but just creating a new habit of having balanced meals throughout the day. Not saving and rationing my food for dinner like I'm starving, like I'm not going to get food, but instead dividing up my macros that I was eating, dividing up my calories into balanced meals, 3 or 4, eating them throughout the day and getting consistent on that. My digestive system got better. I had the satiety. If you're having protein at your meals, with the healthy fat and a carb, it's gonna stabilize your blood sugar levels. You're gonna feel satisfied after your meals, fuller longer, and you're overall just gonna feel better. Your mindset, your digestion, and just getting into a good habit of not saving all your food for dinner. And last things that I wanna talk about is sleep, okay? Sleep, water, and fiber. These all go together. Just like anything in your life, if you are going workaholic, crazy mode, you're high stress, high anxiety, like those are things that wear you down. They create that stress response in your body. By number one, making sure you're hydrating, plenty of water in your body, enough fiber to keep your body satiated and full at your meals, and getting enough sleep to help with those cortisol levels, those are gonna play a crucial role in getting your stress down, aiding in recovery, and getting your mind clear. If you're lacking sleep, you're lacking nourishment from your food, and you're not just getting your stress down, then your mind's not gonna function properly. And that may create more anxiety for some people and lead to the binging. So I'm gonna go over all of them for you guys. The first practice that I implement is the past, present, future. The second one is going on a 5-minute walk. Make sure you are getting enough calories to fuel your training session and not rationing all your food for dinner. Spread it out throughout the day. Create that healthy habit. It's gonna help with digestion. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure you're getting in your recommended fiber intake, which for females is around 20 to 25 grams a day, males 30 to 35 grams. And just work on yourself. Get your sleep down, get your stress down, and do things to make you happy. Because what I found was a big driver of my binge eating. It did come from the fact that for so long I was restrictive eating, and it kind of made me feel like I'm not gonna get food, so I need to kind of binge out on everything because the food's not gonna be there. But also it came from past anxiety and trauma that I had internally that I needed to address. So when I was overcome my eating disorder, I did implement these practices, but also I started working on myself, figuring out what the underlying cause of my stress, my anxiety. It could be a job, work, it could be something internally that you need to work on. And a lot of the times we have something internally that is manifesting inside of us and we want to control it. And that comes out, for me, that came out as binge eating because I could control that, but I couldn't control what was happening internally. And I do want to mention one more thing before I get off. If you guys have a negative mindset about food and you feel like bread is bad for you or certain foods you cannot have them, I would say one thing I really work with my clients on is creating balance. Not thinking that one food is bad. If you like bread, have bread, but have a slice of bread. Like you don't need to have the whole loaf. And I have found that by my clients learning that you could have, I eat 80% clean, 20% of like the fun foods. So by teaching my clients that you can have those fun foods, just don't go overboard on them. It actually creates healthy eating patterns to where they don't feel restricted, like they can't have them, to where they want them even more and want to binge on them. So create that balance in your lifestyle. It is huge. If you guys want more tips, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I have all my coaching, everything linked below, and feel free to put any comment below if you guys have any questions or anything that has helped you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye.